recharge the biological battery on which we run. Our modern world places very little attention on what I call open time. Time that gives us the nourishment, the refreshment, the energy to keep going. Meditation is a superb way of recharging our biological battery, of rejuvenating our system, of re-energizing ourselves. If we're not using meditation or some other pause that can refresh our inner self, then we're letting ourselves down and we'll run into a stalemate and into burnout. And this will create both emotional and physical problems. And it will also take away the joy of life. It doesn't work for us to neglect that pause that allows us to turn inward. The only problem is that we don't really believe this. And the reason we don't is that from every direction our society keeps urging us to keep going no matter what. Keep doing. If you get twice as much done today as yesterday, that's better, so the thinking goes. And if you can get 3 times as much done tomorrow as today, that's even better. Every day of our lives, many of us avoid blame by keeping going continuously. And that way we get approval from our families, from our community, from our employers, or from whomever we deal with. We get approval for keeping going. The pressure is on us to keep moving at all times. On this tape, I'm going to suggest to you a different way of looking at your everyday life. It's based on what is known in science as the rest-activity cycle. Some years ago, Dr. Nathaniel Kleitman, who was a physiologist at the University of Chicago, discovered an interesting fact. Kleitman found that all warm-blooded animals naturally alternate periods of rest with periods of activity throughout their day, and that they do this in a very regular fashion, a very predictable fashion. He called this pattern the basic rest-activity cycle. And then, in a series of studies, he and his graduate students demonstrated that all species of animals display this rest-activity pattern, and that the length of the cycles for each species is entirely different. If you've ever watched pets, such as dogs and cats, you've seen these cycles in operation. The dog or the cat will rush around, be very active, be foraging or playing, or stalking, and then suddenly they will settle down without hesitation to the most contented and peaceful period of